So then, it's 2 years for you to get into the actual breeding part from when you first got that snake. And then how long did it take for it to actually get profitable? Because a lot of people think right when you get into reptiles, oh, I'm gonna start making money, when that's not the case.
That's not the case
Then
at all.
how long did it take for you to actually make money, if you even make actual money?
The first year I was negative. Last year I am about $1,000 negative. So it's getting better because the more snakes you have, the more feeds you have to buy. And feed is not cheap. And as the way the times are right now, everything's climbing in price. Gasoline, rats are more expensive. Everything's a little bit. As just living, everything's getting more expensive. Groceries and all. But I don't know anything about profit yet, man.
So I've been thinking of it like a hobby that pays for itself. Like it's a hobby that does not come out of your pocket.
Yeah,
it's just breeding for fun, pretty much. Like you shouldn't plan on making money from breeding any reptile almost at all.
Not necessarily. I mean, when you first get involved, you're buying racks, and you're buying, for your babies, then you gotta buy racks for your females, or you're buying big enclosures because you want to keep everything out on display. And maybe you only have just a certain amount of snakes and everything, and you have the space to keep every single female on display, every single male on display, and you breed them that way. Hey, good on you, but it takes a lot. You have to invest a lot to get to a point. You're always investing because, once I started. The first year I ended up I reinvested my money back into my company. For example, I bought 2 new female racks because I knew I had racks or females that are going to be needing new homes. I'm glad I bought them because now I have females that I produced that are now living in those homes. So it's not that it's not real profitable. You can be, don't get me wrong. There's some people out there that already have a little bit of change to make a lot more change, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To invest in, and they don't have to blink.
Like your Brian Barcheks.
Maybe.
And your Kevin McCurley's.
Yeah, maybe.
Like you're very...
Maybe even had to start out like...
like everybody starts out typically, most people start out from the bottom and you have to build it up. And a lot of people just have it be like a hobby that pays for itself, which most people should be fine with. If you're getting into breeding, I think.
Yeah, and that's my goal, is just to have my animals be kept, that my animals taking care of themselves. For example, when I had those reptiles, when I was in high school and all, I had a 100-gallon tank of African cichlids, and I got it to the point where they were always breeding. And then after a while, I didn't have to buy fish food. I didn't have to buy new fish. Like, if I wanted new fish, it didn't come out of my pocket. The fish produced that money for me to put back into them. So it's kind of the same goal, just for my animals to take care of themselves, for sure.
So, if you were to tell somebody a tip, what's the number one thing you would tell someone who wants to get into breeding reptiles, but you specialize in ball pythons, right?
For now, yeah. And I'm going to get into super dwarf retics.
Ooh, I want to get into dwarfs too. Maybe later, but all right.
I got some nice projects of those. I bought the females as hatchlings. As 6 months old. I think the oldest one I bought was a year old. But now I'm raising those females. They're going to start turning 4 years old next year. So that's why I'm getting ready for those. That's going to be fun.
What would be a number one top tip for someone who wants to get into breeding of ball pythons?
Focus on one thing at a time. And what I mean by that is, say if you to keep it simple, pastel clown, and you buy a visual clown and you buy a pastel to make pastel clowns down the road. Stay focused on one project, or unless you can, stay focused, maybe 2, maybe 3 projects. But focus on those projects to nail them down and make them look the best that you think that you possibly can. I mean, because you can get distracted. Oh, that snake's pretty. Oh, that snake's pretty. Oh, that snake's pretty. You know what I mean? And then next thing you're like, wait a minute, I messed up somewhere. So stay focused. Basically.
So stay focused on one general specific
one snake that you like, that you find is fantastic, whatever. Maybe you can go out and buy it, but you would rather be the romantic and make it yourself. Hey, go for it. But nail it down as best as you possibly can. I mean, that's, instead of buying this genetic over here, and that genetic over there, and this genetic over there, also buy females and then raise them up for 3 years, because they can't breed until they're at least 3 years old. That's the healthy to do. I mean, 1,500 grams is minimum. Some say 1,800 grams is minimum. I have all my females, by the time I breed, at least 1,800. So yeah, it's because 3 years can be a long time, man. I've raised all my hats. Mostly what I'm producing now, I've raised. since I bought them as hatchlings from other people here at the shows and all that. So it's nice to be able to do that. But yeah, females first as well.
So it requires like a lot of patience.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it sure does.
If you don't have that patience, it's not really going to work out for you when it comes to the
Yeah,
breeding.
enjoy your animals. Yeah, enjoy your animal. You know, if you, don't. I mean, for myself, if you want to buy just a breed, go for it. But all my animals are pets first, breeders second. So I enjoyed raising up my animals and watching them grow and the color change of them and all that. And, you know, for example, I think this gene's beautiful, but I didn't know is that maybe it changed over the years or whatnot. And I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to breed this now. Or it's like, whoa, I didn't know that genetic did that. Well, you know, raising your animals and enjoying them, that's cool. I enjoy it.
So I don't want to really waste your time no more, but thank you for the
You're
interview.
very welcome.
And once again, you are.
My name's Adam Webb with Goulsby Serpents.
And here's your stuff. Thank you, Adam.